Hi Libra, this is your March 2023 reading using the tarot. At the beginning of the month and around that turning point of the Virgo full moon on the 7th, Saturn moving into Pisces shortly afterwards, you were plagued by some sort of, I will say, crippling self-doubt. There was a deep-seated worry that you were grappling with. In this version of the Five of Coins, unlike the traditional version where we see two figures out in the cold, being shut out, being rejected, being alienated, we have one person standing on one side of the pillar and a group of four on the other side. So it's almost like there was a sense of, do I belong in this team? Do I belong in this job? Am I good enough for this community? There is a cathartic moment that happened for you, but I would still sense that there is some sort of a glooming sensation hanging over you. The present situation, and we're going to pull many more cards to clear this up, is the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups is about a overwhelm. It's about a disorientation as well. There is something that is progressing for you. Sure, the sevens are progress and they're magic, especially the Seven of Cups. Real magic, you know, alchemical processes, transmutation of fear into love. But at the moment, I feel like there's a lot of fear around you, Libra. And we're trying to do the other way around, the fear into love, right? Because you are loved, Libra, and you are loved. At the beginning of the month, for whatever reason, you had some doubts about this. We will go deeper into it. And now, after around the 7th, I see the Seven of Cups being your present energy. Now, don't get too hung up on dates. I just use dates during my meditation as a little blueprint for myself to kind of keep me on track, because otherwise I will just go, tangents galore, right? I do that anyway. But the Seven of Cups here for me is about disorientation still, magic, yes, but challenges to still overcome in the present moment. So there's still some confusion about the path. There's still some confusion around yourself, like your identity, who you are. Well, by the end of the month, there's got to be some sort of a catalyst put in place. The Judgment card. Well, Judgment card is the soul growth of the month. We cannot ignore this major arcana, even if we would like to. There is a reckoning involved with the Judgment card. There's a give up your fear at this point, Libra, because it can't go with you anymore. You've been on some sort of a hamster wheel of doubt, of fear, of a sense of not really belonging. Maybe it's something to do with self-worth. And the Judgment card is kind of trying to tell you, and you could be realizing this yourself before any other triggers come up in your life, that this story has played out now. I mean, there's just nothing to keep going on this hamster wheel. Oh, well, you can keep running around and around, sure, but you're never going to get anywhere with that. And the Judgment card, like this trumpet, is saying, okay, it's time to wake up. It's time to for sure break any illusions. Okay, so I didn't think of that yet. There could be illusions around you still. Have you faced up to yourself? Have you faced yourself? Have you faced your decisions? Have you faced the consequences? Judgment card, trumpet blaring and blasting. Have you faced the music? So this month, it's going to be jolting you. Would it be Pisces season if it didn't do that? There's always a karmic association with Judgment. There's a karmic association with the last sign of the zodiacal wheel, the last period of the zodiacal wheel. We want to be reborn just like a fresh piece of paper, blank piece of paper. We don't want any kind of karmic debris coming with us into the zodiacal new year. The spring vernal equinox happening on the 20th of April, 21st of April, 21st of March. Pardon me, 21st of March is the vernal equinox, the same day as the Aries new moon. So this is going to just be a fresh, clean slate for everybody. And for what I'm seeing here for you, Libra, is it can jolt you into an awakening. I've seen the Judgment card being renamed Awakening in many decks. And I do see that trumpet blasting so loudly. You may hear like a siren outside, you may hear loud music, or it could be I feel like it's just waking up from a dream, something that feels really visceral and real, and it's you realizing like, I'm done with that storyline, like I'm finishing. I'm being you now, sorry, talking like from Libra's perspective. Like, you may be saying things like, I am finishing up Pisces season, like, wow, what a ride it always is. It's a trip, but that's what it's all about, you know. The soul by Pisces season has experienced a very full spectrum of awareness. The sign of spirituality is really asking you to go deep. Judgment card asks you to go deep. Pluto, associated with justice. The High Priestess here at the bottom of the deck as I say this. Pluto associated with judgment, rather, is saying as it moves from Capricorn into Aquarius on the 23rd of March, we haven't seen Pluto in Aquarius since the 18th century. We're talking French Revolution, the end of like societal collapse and all the rest. Now, we don't have to go that far, but what we're seeing is something that hasn't been seen before in our lifetime. This is fresh energy for you, Libra, and you're being called to reckon with it. The High Priestess. You are here, and I mean, I didn't want to sound too crazy and say things like this trumpet might be just a loud voice getting louder within you, your inner voice getting louder and louder. The High Priestess is pure intuition. You are being called to face your demons. Let's look at the Five of Coins a little deeper and see what this self-doubt was all about. And speaking from experience, Libra, I am going through a major Pluto transit right now myself. I have Aries at 29 degrees of, or sorry, I have Venus at 29 degrees of Aries, conjunct my 0 degree Taurus moon. Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn is squaring it by exact degree right now. So I know a thing or two about demons coming up and having a field day, but there is a reason for that. It can really signify the end of a cycle for you, and your demons are just like, no, stay here, revel with us. Not today, honey. The Sun card in reverse. There's loneliness there. There's loneliness with the Five of Coins and the Sun card in reverse. Deep loneliness. The Eight of Swords and restriction. Okay. So it feels like that community, right? That one person on one side of the pillar and four on the other side. That's ganging up, if you ask me. That's just not fair, right? And this is about that person being left alone. And I think they look like sunflowers, right? Covering him. I guess it's a guy. Covering this person anyway. There's some sort of a flower, a bright flower. It reminds me at least of a sunflower. And then I see the Sun card and I see that sort of energy of the sun being blocked and the visibility being blocked, and you just not being seen, not being heard, not being understood. The Five of Pentacles is doubt, and it's at the core emotionally, and you may not really be recognizing this, and you may say, you know, Kate, you're real far off here, but the Sun card and the Five of Coins, when the sun reverses, that speaks to a ingrained sort of a loneliness, and it, for whatever reason, has made you perhaps feel like you have no one to turn to. And you may be surrounded by people in your job, you may be surrounded by a community or a big group of people, you may live in a busy area, you may have a big family, but there's still that black sheep motif, there's still that like a sense of being misunderstood, just not having connected fully with your soul tribe, and a sense of like, do I really have people to go to? Like, and this is very restrictive. We're dealing with a more difficult energy at the beginning of the month. And that's okay, Libra. It's not your first rodeo show, is it? You've been able to overcome already so much. And there's a season for everything. Pisces season is an interesting time of the year, to say the least. Do we look forward to it like we may do Aries season? Well, I commend you if you do, but it's not really for everybody, but it's a necessary evil, I was going to say. It's an extremely necessary part of our evolution every year. So there is a light and a dark to everything. And at the beginning of the month, you're in the dark about something. So for me, I think it's something to do with isolation, loneliness, and being misunderstood. Something is covering you. It's like those sunflowers, they're covering you. Why are you not being seen? What is with all this, like the shrouding, the coverage over you? You may understand what that means. From a health and wellness point of view, in terms of just energy levels and things like that, getting out in the sun could be something that you've been craving recently, and maybe it hasn't been possible yet. Especially, I'm looking outside in New York at the moment, and there's snow falling. It's been like falling ever so lightly all day since early this morning. Let's look at the Seven of Cups. Okay, so the shadow is calling out your name, Libra. Look at me, notice me. It's okay. Forgive yourself always. Let's look at the Seven of Cups. There's magic here for you too. There's always magic in Pisces season. You just have to look for it. It's always disguised. Pisces is very dual. So the magic is always seen in hindsight with Pisces, you know. The Four of Coins in reverse. The High Priest or the Hierophant. So the Four of Coins in reverse. There's a scarcity mindset written all over this reading, Libra. There's a lack of belief in yourself, and there's something that's already done. And like the Judgment card is saying, like, well, I mean, it's already to a sense written. There's a sense of karma with this, and don't be afraid of the word karma. Karma is rewards. Karma is just what it is. It is something that we just move through. It's the nature of the reality we're faced with. And there is something that is written for you essentially, but you have so much doubt about this. Massive scarcity mindset. I mean, Five of Coins, if you remember or have seen the traditional version, or at least let's say the Rider-Waite-Smith, you're going to be seeing like people just feeling like really out there, left alone in the cold, right? And this is just a scarcity mindset, feeling, well, I mean, you know, they maybe have fallen on hard times, and maybe you have fallen on hard times. I was inclined to think that it isn't financial stress or strain you're under. Oftentimes the Five of Coins can be financial stress and strain, so that's very difficult and stressful if you're moving through that. But what I'm picking up even more so is, and it could be linked if you're having financial strains, that the knock-on effect and impact this has on your self-esteem, your self-worth, and how deeply ingrained that is into your settings, your sort of brain wiring about how you think about things, how you think about yourself. And the Four of Coins is in reverse, some sort of a lack again. It's a lack of. And what is that lack? I just feel like it's embodiment as well. The loneliness for sure, the lack of understanding. And like I said, you can be surrounded by a plethora of people, family, colleagues, in a relationship, friends, society, and still feel misunderstood, still feel lonely. I've been there too. The High Priest. Okay, the High Priest is about embodiment, and at this point in your life, Libra, you've got to count on yourself, right? You should be able to count on other people. We all deserve that. We all deserve support. But number one, the High Priest, I think their wisdom that they're trying to bestow here is you are an embodied human being. You can provide for yourself. You can actually recognize yourself as an infinite resource of love, of abundance, of talent, of creation, and merge that with the collective, merge that with the external. For sure, share it, that's great. But first and foremost, you have to really root that. Taurus is associated with the High Priest, rooted, embodied feeling of, I will always look after myself. I will never leave or betray or abandon myself, okay? It's deep. This reading is, I just want to hug you. But again, it's the shadow just saying, yeah, look, maybe you did something that you regret. Maybe you were under some sort of an illusion. Maybe you knew you were under an illusion, but there was a sort of, I've gone too far with this, like the wheels are in motion, and then there's no backing out. And the Seven of Cups is like, okay, I'm overwhelmed. So like, I've been there when I knew, for example, that I was something that was not completed in a business perspective, let's say, and I knew that this wouldn't go away on its own, but the thought of it getting it done really just overwhelmed me to the point where I did nothing. And then, of course, lo and behold, what I knew would happen. I was under some sort of very paper thin illusion, and then all I had to do was take a very simple step. And that's all you have to do, maybe take a really simple step to clear up something, or just to make a small bit of progress, to find some peace again, is what I'm thinking. Just because the Seven of Cups can be like a need to recognize the shadow, that, okay, maybe I didn't do that right. Maybe I would do that a different time. Maybe I don't want that karma. And again, Pisces season, is there a more beautiful time of the year to ask for forgiveness, to forgive yourself, to pray that those who you care about can also forgive themselves? We're talking about alchemy, right? When we talk about the Seven of Cups, Pisces is alchemical. We are looking about the transformation of the soul. I'm thinking transformation is the wrong word, maybe. We have judgment and Pluto that is transformative, but what I'm thinking about is like a lightening of the load, an alleviation, or a dissipation or dissolving, basically, of something heavy when we talk about Pisces. Pisces, for as deep of a sign they are and as a deep of a season that it is, there is a real lightness there too. It's the duality. There's I get the joke, the cosmic joke with Pisces season. Try not to take it all so seriously. I know that you may find that a harder pill to swallow right now. It is serious. Okay, the Nine of Wands in falling out here. It's about a journey, and you are 9 at almost the end of a spiritual cycle of evolution. That's what the 9s are. To quote an astrologer, Stephen Forrest, I think, the Tower in reverse and the Four of Cups. I'm sorry, Libra, this has just been tumultuous, perhaps. To quote astrologer Stephen Forrest, we put our peace foot forward with Taurus. We put our wisdom foot forward with Scorpio, Pluto, and Mars, with these major arcana. Scorpio's modern and ancient ruler. Scorpio and Taurus share an axis. We have a peace foot forward with Taurus, so we take one step with that. Everything is well. I'm watching a nice comedy. I'm not freaking out. My takeaway is on the way. The candles are lit. Comfortable, peaceful. I'm out in the garden. I'm knitting. Okay. That's all good, but we can't live our life like that either, because there wouldn't be as much room for growth. Taurus's axis, then, Scorpio will take a wisdom foot forward. Okay, so I got fired. I lost my job. I lost somebody that I really love. You fill in the gaps here. You know what I'm saying. You wouldn't want to keep walking with the wisdom foot either, would you, though? So it's a balance of wisdom foot forward, peace foot forward. You've been off balance with that. Too much peace, too much wisdom. You'll know yourself. The Tower in reverse and the Four of Cups, even though you saw it coming with the Tower in reverse, even though that this derailment, this intensity, the breakdown, the crisis, perhaps. Even though you saw it coming a mile away, it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It doesn't mean that this doesn't make you sad. The Judgment card. Let's see where you're being led to awaken at the end of the month. The Judgment card is that turning point, I think, after the vernal equinox. The new moon in Aries is pretty powerful. I mean, it's a Martian energy with Aries always, Mars ruling this new moon in Aries. As well as that, though, we'll have a stellium in Aries at that point. There is a real stepping into your power soon. I know that Pisces season can make us feel powerless because we are so aware of the fact that we do not have control anyway. And that's part of the spiritual awakening, right? Oh, I never had control. Damn. That can hit home, right? The Judgment card. The Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Coins, and the Page of Swords in reverse. Okay, and the Hanged Man, Neptune, Pisces, transcendence on the higher octave, delusion and disillusionment on the lower, let's say, and Five of Wands. You're in conflict or competition with somebody, Libra. And the Five of Wands can be competition in a healthier way, but the real competition should really be with yourself, I think. With the Nine of Coins, for the most part, I don't think it's financial worry. And if there is financial worry, that doesn't even seem to be the root of it. And if there is financial worry, the Four, the Five of Coins, yeah, sure. That seems to alleviate and improve as the month continues. There seems to be doors that are opening there. Again, this person is aware of themselves as the resource, themselves as the provider infinitely, right? So that could be coming up for sure. There is something really for you to be proud of yourself when you see the Nine of Coins. You are an accomplishment already. You don't need to accomplish anymore. You don't need to be constantly accomplishing in the kind of more current societal version of what accomplishing is. The Page of Swords in reverse, revealing imposter. But I don't think that you need to worry about an imposter in your reality. It seems like the people that you are surrounded with are trustworthy. You just don't feel like they see you, value you, appreciate you. It's not that you don't trust them, it's that you don't believe when they tell you how they feel about you, when they affirm that they love you, when they show up and do all they can to do. And you know, it's up to you, Libra, to see past that and love yourself first and foremost. But this Page of Swords in reverse, often an imposter, right? Often somebody who says there's something and they're not. But maybe this is your worry, and the Judgment card is saying give up this imposter syndrome. It's been with you for too long now, and Pluto cycles aren't quick. They can last years. They do last years. So this has been a cycle that's been playing out, or a storyline, for years now. I think it's time to get off that particular hamster wheel, Libra. Much love to you, and looking forward to the Aries season, new moon, and the vernal equinox just as much as you are. Take care.